Welcome back, folks. It is Coach's Corner, powered to you by Central Hydraulics, distributor of Boss plows and equipment for over 26 years. I am your host, Paul Vold. We are back after a weekend sweep of the Alexandria Blizzard. We're checking in with head coach for your Granite City Lumberjacks, DJ Vold. And Coach, it was nice to get back in the win columns, of course, at home, on the road, but ultimately getting a couple of big wins, with it being, of course, against Alexandria, who's staring up in the division standings.
Yeah, I mean, it's anytime you can take 2 points from Alexandria, it's a good thing. Never fails that every game we play against them is a good one, and it's always fun to win at home. So we're happy with the results of both games, and like where we're headed.
Yeah, of course, to break it down, a couple of those, of course, the games themselves, of course, with it being on Friday on the road, winning 2-1, getting all those goals scored in the first period, and for Granite City, of course, 2 goals in the first 6 minutes from that point on. You get things going there with special teams, of course, you get a power play goal, and then obviously you look at the whole game as a result. Nick Hansen back in net for the team. It was a really nice performance from him.
Oh, 100%. I mean, we've had a knack of scoring early and then not scoring at all. So if we're going to do that, our goaltenders better play well, and they have done everything to do that. So.
Yeah, of course, you look at how things kind of really finished off in that contest. Alexandria gets a few power plays in the tail end of that contest too, with there also being really a defensive finish too, of course, with the scoring coming in early for the team, having to kind of go back, of course, rely on the goaltending and more of a defensive finish too. How'd that really fare for the boys here in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, obviously it's not how you ideally draw it up. If we could win by 8 every game, that'd be great. A lot less stressful for me, and can kind of ride them in. But yeah, I thought we defended pretty well at the end of the game because we had to. We kind of let them push back a little, and from there, Nick Hansen again. It's always nice to have good goaltending, and when you do, you're fortunate to come out with some games that you may not deserve.
Really the same story, of course, going into Saturday, a 4-3 victory at home. Really the same start. Get up early, get those goals early, score the first goal in the first minute of the game against Alexandria. Let's say that special teams was a prominent role in that contest, penalty kill, especially in the second and even third period too, with even that strong goaltending in the mix.
Yeah, we were kind of put behind the 8 ball a bunch in that game, and I thought I was really happy with how we handled it. Fortunately, our penalty kill has been really good all year, and we needed it on Saturday night. A little bit thanks to me, but that's what happens when I think it's a little lopsided. They're going to hear about it, but all in all, I was really happy with how our boys handled the adversity and came out on top.
Of course, now you take those 2 more wins. West Division standings starting to widen out here, but of course, no time to rest when it comes to these divisional matchups. You get 2 more games at home against the Wilderness coming up. Been some time since we've last seen them. Of course, just before the end of the first half of the season. Kind of some hard-fought games up at their place, but with there being Friday, Saturday, what do you look at here for this week of practice here to maybe hone in on a few things?
Yeah, I think we're going to need to be ready to go. I mean, there's no nights off in our division. They made a coaching change since the last time we saw them, and they've got a guy that our league knows really well and has won a championship in our league. So they're going to be ready to go. We'll make sure our guys are, but specifically, hopefully our goaltenders continue to play well and we find a way to fill the net a little more than we have the last couple weekends.
Of course, we've got head coach for your Granite City Lumberjacks, DJ Vold, joining us here this week on Coach's Corner. Again, Friday, Saturday at home from Miller Buick GMC Arena. It'll be 7:30 puck drops for both games. We've got a lot of things going on this weekend. Of course, you see some of the paraphernalia right here on the desk. Of course, we've got pizza cutters and water bottles will be given away to fans Friday and Saturday. Be sure to check out both games to get some of these great deals. Of course, we've got Sauk Rapids Firefighter Night coming up here. I believe that is going to be this weekend as well. Much more information you can find out by checking us out on our social media platforms, and full Lumberjack schedule available at na3hl.com. Be sure to stick around here for Coach's Corner, powered to you by Central Hydraulics. We'll have our players interview coming your way next. Welcome back, folks, to Coach's Corner, powered to you by Central Hydraulics. Of course, I'm your host, Paul Vold, as, of course, our great sponsor, Central Hydraulics, distributor of Boss plows and equipment for over 26 years. We get a chance now to talk with one of our players. It's number 12, that Gavin Forrest. Gavin, thanks so much for joining us this week.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Of course, we like to know about all our new players that have come through the program their first year with Granite City. First off, just introduce yourself. Where are you from? How long have you been playing hockey?
Gavin Forrest. I'm from Grand Rapids, Minnesota. I've been playing hockey for around 13 years now, ever since I started skating when I was little. My dad said I had a knack for hockey, so he signed me up for Cloquet Hockey Association. I've been playing ever since. You
know, you also were a bit of a later addition to the roster for the Lumberjacks this season. Came somewhere around the midway point of the first half of the season. What was kind of that journey to get you here to Granite City from basically the start of the season?
Well, actually, as soon as I was done with high school, I planned on going to college, and I went to college for a couple months, and then after that I realized it wasn't for me. And then I came home for a week, and then one of the local guys that I talked to on a regular basis, Brad Clayton, texted me, asked me if I want to play hockey. I said, yeah, I'll give it a shot. I got time now. I got money to spare. And I ended up coming down here, practiced, loved it down here. It's a great experience so far, and I plan on keep playing here.
And we appreciate, of course, you making the trip here, of course, being a part of the organization. But it was a great weekend for Granite City. A couple of tight victories, but still nice wins get against the rival and the team looking up at us in the West Division standings in Alexandria. Start off the game on Friday. It was a tight 2-1 victory on the road there in Alexandria. Starting off, of course, all 3 goals scored in that first period. What were your really thoughts of of course, the start of the game, but just really the team kind of coming together there to get that win on the road?
Well, we started off quick with a goal right away, and I was like, all right, here we go. Let's get the train moving. Let's get rolling here. And then we got another one. I was like, all right, let's get a point night. Let's just sweep them through, make it nice and easy. And then we ended up backing off, it felt like, and that seemed like a mistake. They came right in with another goal, and then we just didn't really get many shots. We mostly focused on defense because it didn't seem like we were getting shots through. So we just worked mostly on defense, and then that ended up getting us the win, blocking shots and getting in lanes and making sure they couldn't get any more chances.
They also had a great performance as well in net. Nick Hansen between the pipes too. I mean, it had to be really nice. Of course, the effort the forwards and defensemen putting together. Then also your goaltender comes through with some big saves too.
Yeah, having him in net that game, he was locked in. We could rely on him with opportunities that we couldn't cover as a team, and then he was always there to back us up. So it was good having him and having faith in him back there.
You carry that momentum from the game on Friday, 2-1 victory, then get a 4-3 victory at home. Another tight contest. Again, it was another fast start for the squad. You get a goal the first minute of the game, get out to that big lead. Again, what was the team's feeling as the game kind of moved along from that opening goal?
Opening goal, we were all excited. We're all hyped up to be there, hyped up, ready to get going again. We wanted to have a different outcome than the first game. And then we ended up popping a few more goals. And we all thought it was going to be that way. And then once again, we seemed to back off, which I think is a bad habit that we need to break going into the future, especially with playoffs coming up in the next couple months. But getting those goals, it got us really hyped up. And then that kind of kept our momentum to keep going. Even if they got a couple more, we never backed down. So we just kept pushing through and kept battling.
Yeah, of course, in that game, too, you ultimately get a goal that would loom large at the final score of it, too. I mean, it was a great setup, great play overall. What did you see there with that, of course, with the breakout leading to that odd man rush for the goal there?
Well, I realized that the defenseman that was out there has been out there for 45 seconds, and I was cutting across. I saw Reese coming down the side. I was like, all right, this is a chance to create a 2-on-1. I wasn't expecting the pass as soon as it was, but it was a beautiful tape-to-tape pass from him. And as I looked up, the goalie was right in my face. So then I ended up having to go to the backhand and ended up being wide open. And then it ended up probably one of my favorite goals of my career because of that moment, especially since it was my first home goal too, and ended up being one of the game-winning goals. So it was a great experience, and I would love to keep playing with Reese and the guys, with people that can keep up with the speed of mine. I've been struggling with that lately too, because even at home with the speed, it would always be behind me, and I would always have to time plays. So I'm trying to figure out who I can match with best here, and it seems that guys who can match my speed have been able to get good passes, so I don't have to slow down, keep the momentum, and that's how goals are created.
And of course, we want to talk about momentum and talk about someone that's obviously happy about us talking about goaltending. Brian behind the camera, Skeeter. I mean, he had another great performance as well. And, Trent Peterson, obviously big saves in that contest too.
Oh, yeah, him, big body, big kid, nice kid, really good at goalie. Playing against him in youth and even in high school, I knew he was a great goalie. And here he's the same way, just great kid. You can rely on him just like you can rely on Hansen. He's a goalie that you can trust in the back of the net, and just you can play your game, and if you make a mistake, you can trust him to be there to back you up.
Of course, Granite City going to be back in action coming up here this weekend. 2 home games. It'll be Friday, Saturday. It will be against the Minnesota Wilderness. Been some time since we've had the Wilderness in our barn or played against them too. I mean, you take away from the weekend and get a nice weekend sweep, but it's right back to work. What do you see here, and maybe a couple things to look at when it comes to getting prepared for the Wilderness in practice?
I think getting prepared in practice, I think we need to work on keeping the momentum going from the quick starts. We've had a lot of great quick starts, but we seem to back off. So I think even in practices, having like miniature like 3-on-3s or 5-on-5s full ice, and just making sure that we're always battling and always going at it at full speed. Because it seems like when we back down, the teams come right back in it, but when we go out with a bang and we come out fast, teams can't seem to stay with us. So I think if we stay the game with that momentum that we start with, I think we'll be fine.
Again, we've got 2 games coming up here this weekend. Number 12, Gavin Forrest, joins us here on Coach's Corner, powered to you by Central Hydraulics, to get through all the hard stuff. Now let's learn a little bit more about Gavin with some rapid fire. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, we're going to start off. What gets you ready for game day? What's kind of that pregame routine for you? Does it happen right away when you get up, right before the rink? What gets you going on game day?
As soon as I realize it's game day, I wake up, I get a couple stretches in, and I have to make sure I'm always energized because I like to sleep in late. So I always get like a C4 or an energy drink of some sort to drink it right away. And then I always like let it sit in my body, and then I'll hydrate, and then I'll just do some like sprints or something to get my energy and adrenaline going. And then for another pregame, for some reason, I don't seem to like eating before a game, no matter what time the game's at, because it seems like if I eat, I feel sluggish and I just don't feel good. But without it, I have no reason to feel like disgusting, so then I can just go out there and play with my heart out.
Well, I guess that we'll skip over the next question. When it comes to pregame meal, try to keep it pretty light then, and just go with it?
Yeah, if it's a super late game, I'll keep it light, maybe like a 6-inch sub from Subway or like a small bowl of noodles or something. But other than that, I don't really eat before games.
Okay, I like that. Do you prefer the red or the white sweater here with Granite City?
I prefer the white because I think it matches really good with our breezer covers more than the red does. And it also, I just love white jerseys ever since I was a home player for Squirts. It's just been like, wow, this is a home team color, and I just love it.
I like it. Do you have a nickname? Anybody that's given you one in the locker room, one from growing up, a nickname?
Well, actually, I've gotten quite a few on the team since I'm a shorter guy. I get called Elf. I get called Gremlin. I get called Leprechaun, and then my last name, since it's Forrest, I always get called Gump. That seems to be the most common one is Gumpy or Gump. So that's the most common.
I love it. I love it. There was another sport you'd be playing that you'd like to go maybe as far as you have here with junior hockey. What would that other sport be?
It would definitely be lacrosse. I've loved lacrosse ever since I played in 5th grade, and then I got moved up early to high school, and it's just been one of my favorite sports other than hockey because it's so similar. It's just running more.
I like it. All right. Who is the best and worst ping pong players on the team?
Well, for starters, it's definitely not Moser for the best because I have swept him now twice, and both games haven't even added up to a 21 final score. But then for the best, I would have to put it between 3 guys, and that'd be myself, Raiden Willis, and Eli Tiernan.
Who's the one teammate on the squad here who comes right off the ice and he's just got a funk to him? Who stinks the most on the team?
I would have to say Giram on that one. It just I don't know if he doesn't like wash his gear or something, but sometimes it's a little funky, and it's like, oof. Then we play ping pong, and then the stench with the heat in there really starts to accumulate with all the guys in there. So it's just like, wow.
Yikes. Another guy that's also been answer to this question. Who's one guy in the team that probably gets the longest to get ready when it's practice, getting ready for the game, just takes the longest to get all their gear on?
I would have to say Raiden Willis on that. Him and I were playing ping pong actually before the game on Saturday, and we had 15 minutes before warm-ups. And as soon as the game ended, I was getting dressed quick, and I was ready to go, and then there was 5 minutes before warm-ups, and he still didn't have his unders on, and everyone was starting to yell at him.
Wow, that is quite the amount of time it takes. Who's got the best and worst style on the team?
Ooh, I'm going to say best style has got to be Comstock. He's got some good style. Him and Reese have got some really good style. And the worst, I'd have to say Tyler White on that one. He's pretty plain. He likes to wear the plain stuff, so he doesn't really have any style.
All right, final question here with our rapid fire. Personal goals here for this season. What do you want to get out of your time here with Granite City?
I personally, I just love playing hockey here, and I want to see if I can further into the next level, like into the NAL, hopefully, with this league, especially since it's, I think, the best team in the league, that this is like the best opportunity to get recognized, because just a common team that's always up there in the standings, always winning, and then I think that's where the best looks come from, so I just want to move up in the next league.
Of course, number 12, Gavin Forrest, joins us here this week on Coach's Corner. Granite City going to be back in action this weekend, Friday, Saturday, at home against the Minnesota Wilderness. 7:30 puck drops. Of course, you can find out much more from Miller Buick GMC Arena this weekend by going to na3hl.com, and also check us out on our social media platforms. This is Coach's Corner this week, powered to you by Central Hydraulics, distributor of Boss Plows and equipment for over 26 years. We'll check in with you guys next week.